Stay tuned to the end. There's a second little short bee house video. Thanks. Here we are in spring 2021. A little garden tour this morning, or afternoon actually. There's a little garden whirligig I got for my birthday this year. There's 3 little owls on it. There's a little bumblebee down there. It's a juga. Yep, I see him moving around. There he is. I got fringe leaf, bleeding hearts, and a few little hostas popping up. And here's pulmonaria, lungwort. And this little hydrangea coming out all over there. Got some tiger lilies coming out. It's one of my favorites. My great grandmother gave me some for my 9th birthday. Guess that was 50 years ago. Anyway, here's a white fringe leaf bleeding heart. Got their traditional pink bleeding heart there on the center screen with some celandine poppies behind and white lunaria or money plant. There's a purple variety out front. It's kind of the end of these hellebores. There's a pretty little pink epimedium. A couple columbine getting ready to sneak in here. Just jumped down the wall from the lunaria there. Here's some Virginia bluebells and another lungwort pulmonaria. I have to think of that, but not say plumeria, which is from Hawaii. Here's a little rue anemone, a little wildflower. This is some this little funny leaf. That's bleeding heart that's bloomed out, and then a couple trillium behind. Metaroo popping up there. Looks kind of like columbine leaf. Happy little wren in the background you can hear. Here's Daphne. She's already done her thing. Here's Trey's quince double take, orange storm. He saw one of these at Biltmore, and so I was able to find one. I'm here by the pond, and you might can see that odd little stem coming up. It's going to be a bloom on the pitcher plant pretty soon. And this is a little view around the pond by the patio. Dragonfly there was a birthday present. I hung that up this morning. Had our first little frog, but he's disappeared. This is a rose I planted last year, Clara Austin. It's a David Austin rose. It's a good climbing rose. It can actually stand to be on the north side of a house. It does really well. Some Artemisia. Daylilies coming up. There's that yellow columbine doing well. That hydrangea, bless its heart, got frostbite the other morning. There's Trifolia orange, flying dragon coming out. Here along the drive are the little irises I've posted a few pictures of. There's a peach color. It's not blooming today at the moment, so maybe another day. Here's a couple of Edo peonies and sets in bloom. So I got 3 of these guys here. Oregano's growing off into the creek bed. This is really pretty this year. The white is creeping phlox and the fuchsia is as well. And the bright yellow is a wallflower. And then this kind of limey color is an oregano. But yeah, this wallflower is just about full bloom. Oddly enough, it's related to cabbage. If you look at it, you can kind of tell it's like cabbage when it's bolted. For anybody who's a garden or a vegetable gardener. And this is Mom's Yellow Edo peony that is sets and blooms. Got this for a couple years ago. Yellow peony was something she always wanted, and so I found one of these for the Edo peonies. Got a few foxglove gonna pop. Got some columbine. Things are a little slow yet, but there's still a few things going on. Got these columbine that come up in the dry creek. That one there, bumblebee flying around. This purple dragon lamium, first couple blooms on it today. And this catmint junior walker, it'll be out 7 feet across, 2 or 3 feet onto the sidewalk later in the summer. But hey, that's all right. I'm good with that. And on the opposite side of the sidewalk, there's a sweet little guy, Stinky Bob, also called Herb Robert. It's an annual geranium. If you touch it, you find out why it's called Stinky Bob, but Bob's quite prolific, as you can see in this area, but he's easy to control. He's very shallow rooted. You can pop him out. It's a nice little shoes and socks, green mulch, as they say. I've been watching this foxglove. Came from a good friend's sister. Seed did. It's got multiple heads to it, so this one's going to be really pretty spectacular, I think. It's already pretty spectacular, but and the Japanese maple. Friend that gave me that yesterday was here, and it's like, is that the one I gave you? So yes, it is. Thank you very much. Here's a sweet little shrub, Fothergilla Mount Airy. I always think that sounds like a Catholic priest, even though it's not spelled Fothergilla. It's still, to me, my sense of humor and dyslexia. That's how I relate and understand and remember the name. Got a new area going. Got these lithium in a little bit ago. And that limey green is carex, a sedge, gun. That's the name. And then the viburnum is at the end. Spice baby. Quite spicy, very vanilla, cinnamony, really super sweet smell, hence the name. Trey's Bambi Proof Flame Azalea is just about to go bonkers. There's a couple, actually more than a couple, black Barlow columbine in this area that I've laid down some footprint. This old-fashioned shrub is a spirea. I recognize it from when I was a kid. That's one of the few original shrubs here. This viburnum is full this year. It's going to bloom really soon. We always called this snowball bush when I was little. Rosemary and Jacob Klein bee balm and Trey's Spanish lavender, which has just started blooming, are all being really friendly and have grown together, made a nice little area. This is another pretty little creeping phlox. It's been here a few years. I planted it underneath this witch hazel I planted for Trey, along with some bee balm. This is wild bergamot, Monarda fistulosa. It's approximately 5 feet over this direction, and probably 3 or 4 feet this way. And I made a mistake. There's a little catmint Walker's Low hiding here, so I don't know how I'll get it out. But anyway, I'm really excited about this one. As you can see, it's in a rabbit-proof fence. It's Georgia aster. It's a native wildflower that's, you can purchase it. It's not solely protected, but it is not too common. Bloomed. I have another larger one that just bloomed really crazy for me last year, so I'm really excited. Here's another very rare coming up. It's a Swainetz sunflower, and it is federally protected. You can't get it, except you can get a start in someone's personal garden, which is where this came from, but it is protected because of habitat loss. I'm excited about my 2 little pawpaw trees. They're coming out. These came from, they were seed started at Renolda a couple years ago. This one came from seed in Virginia, and this one over here came from seed from a Pufftown tree. So I've got these 2 guys together, so they'll cross-pollinate when they get big enough. And here's that other. It's a little sparse up here, not much has come up, but this is the traditional or more common purple form of Lunaria. I got some columbine sprinkled in here. Rose campion, looks a little rough from the frost we had. Here's spice bush. I've had caterpillars the last 2 years that this has been here, so that's exciting. Little native fringe tree I just see. It's getting ready to get fringy. I love hyssop and agastache. I love the smell of licorice. I actually like the taste of licorice. But this one's really cool. It's bright goldy color. It's called Golden Jubilee. And it's covered in bees all summer long. It blooms pretty long period, considering it's perennial. They usually have a season and that's it. Some more columbine getting ready to do their thing. Pretty little fuzzy yarrow coming out. I'm up near the drive, so I apologize if you hear road noise, but these California poppies that reseeded and actually overwintered, I wasn't sure if they would or not. I know like the big Shirley poppies and those guys that come up, but those are pretty good a bit out along the front of the mailbox. I like these guys. There are a couple of other colors in here. It's just this kind of creamy color came out first. I'm excited about this lovely again. Last year was the first year I grew it. As you can see, I have it in a cage because the rabbits kept mowing it off last year. So we'll see. It's an aster lady in black. And this thing was 3 feet across, just a huge ball of moving bees in bloom last year. So since it's just got established last year, I'll be excited to see how this turns into it. But got a couple more up around the mailbox I got lucky and found at Rinaldi Gardens last year. I really like this arborvitae. It's Forever Goldie. Has this really bright gold color, as you can see from the new flush of growth. The tips are still a little tinge of red. They were pretty bright red when we were still having frost, but they're coming on out. They'll be more green pretty soon. Getting a little concerned. These guys, this one and this one, these are native heath asters that just came up in place when I killed the grass, and this new pollinator, mostly native bed section up along the road. This was about 7 feet one direction and 8 feet the next, and that was last year. And as you can see, it runs on stolons, and probably gonna need to take this back a little bit because it hung over the driveway last year. So we'll see what happens. There's Henry's garnet. Itia's coming on. I had to put my chicory in a cage. Deer had mowed it to the ground. I'm totally stoked about this. It's a green pillar oak. My mom got me for Christmas last year. It grows, obviously, green pillar. Gives you an idea. Grows very columnar. It only has a 15-foot wide spread. Still goes 30-40 feet high, but doesn't spread out. Has beautiful fall color, and every tip and every little spot is coming out in bud, even all the way to the very tip top. So, woo! This is a sweet little plant, Downy Wood Mint. Last year was my first year growing it. Pollinators really liked it. Takes a little more shade than some of the other ones, but you can see she has spread under my coralberry bush. So I'm gonna have to move part of that, but that's a good problem to have. Got a few more little roof irises looking a little rough with the frost. Got a couple more creeping phlox in bloom. Some of this wood fell off the large maple tree behind me. I like to make these little bug hotels, little spots around the garden if you happen to see little piles of wood. If I have to cut up a limb or something, I'll leave these, just find some place to tuck it in and make a little place for bugs and frogs and everybody to play nice. This little deutzia. This is the slender deutzias getting ready to pop out. More columbine. Here's sweet bubby, calycanthus, Carolina allspice, whatever you call it, coming in the bud. We always called it sweet bubby as a kid. Kind of smells like strawberries to me. Circle back around to the front of the house here to Dry Creek sidewalk. This maple, this is a really pretty Veronica water perry blue. It's been here a couple years. I actually had to take it back out of the grass edge, and it had grown all the way across the creek and Dry Creek, and you can see there's a couple sprigs I can move. Okay, coming back around the end of the tour, I'm back around to the house. These are little Anise hyssop. That's an annual, but it actually grew here in front of the oregano last year. It grew behind that rosemary and oregano the first year, and threw seeds out, and I just kind of left it. in the dry creek, and it's a fabulous plant for bees and butterflies. Everybody loves it all summer long, blooms the whole summer. Has a really sweet smell if you crush the leaf, if you like the smell of licorice like I do. I'll sign out with these little dwarf iris. Like I said, there is a peach one hiding in here. It's about bloomed off. I think maybe there's still just that little touch of color, so one more is going to bloom. Anyway, alright, hope you enjoyed it. I've had these bee houses out a couple of years, and I noticed a couple weeks ago that not much had happened and a lot of the little holes were open. And so I wanted to kind of catch a picture of all the activity. It looked like a hive a little bit ago, but as soon as I started recording, then the activity dropped down a little bit. Anyway, you still get the idea, and there's lots going on.